This WUSA 9 Weather Impact Alert is sponsored by Morgan & Morgan.
And I'm WUSA 9 meteorologist Topper Schutt. Here is our latest snowfall map. We've not made any changes since yesterday. We're very comfortable with this. 4 to 8 inches, southern Maryland. You get that thumping Saturday night. 6 to 10 inches through the metro and back into Leesburg and Gaithersburg. You get a thumping Saturday night and part of Sunday morning, but not long. 10 to 14 inches plus up near Martinsburg, Hagerstown, and Cumberland. You get more snow because the sleet line moves slower to the north and to the west. And I think even Hagerstown will turn to sleet. Cumberland, you might escape sleet. But for the most part, this is going to be a snow to sleet situation across the entire DMV. So, weekend storm. What do we know? Heavy snow overnight tonight, Saturday. Transition to sleet Sunday. And it will occur mainly in the morning. What is new is everybody changes to heavy sleet. And a brief period of freezing rain is possible, mainly D.C. south. Not talking about an ice storm, maybe just an hour or so of freezing rain, which would put a crust on the snow. And it's never going to melt. Okay, so weather impact alert all day Sunday. Yes, heavy snow mixing with, then changing to heavy sleet, 4 to 14 inches. Then Arctic cold follows, so be prepared to clear snow. And when it turns to sleet, you got to really stay on top of it because it turns to snowcrete. Even a fluffy snow will become very heavy with heavy sleet on it. And check back for updates. We'll keep you posted because it's going to be kind of a case where tomorrow, if that line, the changeover line, slows down a little bit, we're talking a difference of 1 to 2 to 3 inches in totals. Showing you this again. This is just crazy. The white is winter storm warnings. Look at that. For eastern New Mexico all the way through New England, you're just probably not going to see that again. Red is winter ice storm warnings, and the purple here is winter weather advisories. That's crazy. Population-wise, that covers like 65% of the country. For us, yes, we're under a winter storm warning starting tonight at 11 o'clock, going through Monday morning at 4 o'clock for snow and for sleet. So let's go over precipitation types. We're likely to have almost all of them. We might not have this one. Maybe in southern Maryland. So this is, what you'd expect spring or summer. Everything starts to snow, follows through a big layer or column of warm air, and it just falls as rain. And in a, normal or average atmosphere, okay, the vertical structure is as you go higher, it gets colder. When you have exceptions to that rule, you get some crazy precip types. So now we have snow. It starts a pretty big warm layer, so it melts, and then it stays melted until it freezes on contact because the surface is below freezing. That's freezing rain. Don't think we're going to see much of this. We'll see none of it north of town. The other one, we're going to see a lot of this, is sleet. So it starts as snow. It has a more shallow layer of warm air, like 10,000 feet. So it has a chance to refreeze. And that falls as little pellets, and that's what bounces off your windshield. But thankfully, it does not collect on power lines or trees. This is what, at one time, this storm was going to be pure snow, cold all the way up through the column. That is not the case. So we are looking at least 3 of the 4 precip types, and maybe 4 or 4. If you're into southern Maryland, you might even go over to a pure rain. All right, let's go through this. Date night tonight, fine. Just be home by 11. 10 o'clock, a little bit of snow Manassas, out toward Front Royal and Winchester, temperatures in the teens primarily. By midnight, snow getting pretty far north, to Leesburg and to Gaithersburg. Starting to really thump, though, down here in Fredericksburg and Waldorf. And again, this is the time you guys in southern Maryland are going to make hay before you lose that cold air. 6 a.m. on Sunday, snowing just about everywhere, aha. But here's that dreaded change line just south of Fredericksburg. By 8 o'clock, there's the line crossing into Waldorf, approaching Manassas. So what's going to happen is you're going to see heavy snow transition to a heavy mixture of snow and sleet, and then eventually it's going to be all sleet. And I think everybody will turn to sleet at some point by afternoon, even up to the Maryland-PA border. Look at the temps, teens. Okay, 10 o'clock. Now we've got the sleet into D.C. and crossing over I-66, and heavy sleet now down into Fredericksburg. If you look carefully, it's harder to see with the magenta color, but you see the gradations here? So there's going to be heavy patches of sleet, just like there are heavy bursts of snow. Okay, noon. It's almost to the border. Now we have the sleet line, snow line up to the I-70 corridor. approaching Frederick. Look what happens. By 1:30, it goes across into PA. And even encompasses Cumberland. There's a slight chance you don't change in Cumberland, but I think Hagerstown will change. Frederick's going to change. And then by 3:30, we have sleet across the entire metro. By 5:30, more sleet, turning back to snow as you get into Hagerstown and Cumberland. And by 7:30, it's just about over. Just about to cross over I-95. And again, a little bit of plain old-fashioned rain possible across the bay. By midnight, Monday, late Sunday night, just cloudy. Temperatures still in the teens and low 20s. This is not going to go anywhere. So, again, the storm timeline, snow develops between 6 p.m. and midnight. We're thinking 7 p.m. to 11 p.m. It will accumulate quickly, but even if you're on date night and you're coming home, you're not going to have any slick roads. It's going to be so dry that the car in front of you will push the snow off the road. So just be home by 11. Trace to 1 inch. Now, here's the good thumping. Midnight to 6 a.m., pure fluffy snow for everybody, 3 to 6 inches quickly. And then we get into 6 a.m. to noon, heavy snow far north and west, but now it's mixing with and changing to heavy sleet except far north and west. And by that we mean probably north of Frederick, Hagerstown to Cumberland, certainly. But even there, noon to 6 p.m., heavy snow, Hagerstown early, but then it's going to be heavy sleet everywhere. Travel's going to be difficult for days, because we're going in this Arctic plunge. We may not make it above freezing until February. Wow, it's crazy. 6 p.m. to midnight, storms winding down, but you saw it may end as snow in Hagerstown and still a mix as you go through the immediate metro area. Monday, just bitterly cold, 5 to 15, maybe a flurry, mainly in the mountains. Roads covered still and slippery. So, here we go. Snow, snow, mix, 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 mix. Temperatures generally in the mid to upper 20s. That's it. So we're going to light them up here. Weather impact alert Sunday for heavy snow and heavy sleet. For Monday for cleanup. Tuesday for dangerously cold air. Look at that. Look at the lows. 9 Monday night and 7 Tuesday night. That's downtown temps. We'll be below 0 in the burbs. Time to open those cabinet doors. Leave those spigots just trickling a little bit on the outside walls. After that, we don't make it above freezing. 20s on Wednesday, a little bit of light snow possible early Thursday, and then still in the 20s on Friday. Maybe by next Saturday we make it to around 30 degrees.